Alright, get ready to take a cruise ship to Manhattan because you all, including me, are gonna take a trip to Manhattan. I'm joking. I'm totally joking. But something that is Manhattan is Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. And I will be reviewing that today. Now, this movie is quite something to say. Now, it's not my favorite, of course, but I do kind of like that it takes place on a cruise ship. But the only thing I wish for this movie is it just takes place more in Manhattan. And it kind of just sucks that it doesn't take place that much in Manhattan. But trust me, once Jason is in Manhattan, I'm just so happy because, well, I mean, who doesn't want to see a hockey mask, crazy, what do I even call Jason anymore? A zombie or something? Anyways, I mean, it would just be cool to see Jason in Manhattan, and that finally comes true. So let me review this movie right now. Now, I do love the opening montage of this movie because it's cool to finally see New York City in a Friday the 13th movie. And it's goofy to see that the Batman logo is in this movie. That's really goofy to know that. Well, I mean, it is New York City after all, so you're gonna see lots of logos after all. Now, I do like the title card in this movie. I love Part Seven's title card better, but this one is okay. I mean, I like this title card, and, yeah. And I don't know why, like, what's with, like, the numbers having to be, like, in Roman numerals? Like, what? Why can't it just be a regular 8? Or, like, a regular 7 or a regular 6 for this franchise? Like, it just makes no sense. And I just wanted to see more of that Batman logo, but of course that title card had it to block it, apparently. But overall, I think the title card is pretty okay. I love Part 7's better, but this one's okay. I do like that we get to see the Statue of Liberty in this movie because, well, it's New York City, and you gotta have the Statue of Liberty if you're, like, showing a New York City movie. So yeah, that's pretty cool that the Statue of Liberty is in it. LOL. I'm glad we get to see Camp Crystal Lake again, but I have to be honest, this just looks nothing like Camp Crystal Lake. I know we have the cabins here, but this is not Camp Crystal Lake. Yeah, I could see why this movie is now taking place in Manhattan, because they probably had no more ideas of having these movies in Camp Crystal Lake, as far as I know. A thing that I absolutely hate about this movie is that why does Kid Jason look like a human? I just don't like this at all because he just doesn't have that, like, deformed face like in the original. I just don't like the way this Jason looks. He just looks more like a regular human. And Jason is, well, he was a human, but, like, he didn't look like this. He had more like a deformed face. I just don't like the way that kid Jason looks. Yeah, this is just, I don't know what to say. I just don't like the way this looks. Because this looks nothing like the Jason Voorhees we all know. Now, I don't like the way how Jason is in this movie because I just liked the New Blood Jason look better, but this one is fine. It's fine. It's not the best, but it's fine. But I do prefer the New Bloods look. But hey, at least we get to see some gore. At least we get to. But overall, I think this Jason look is fine. And the hockey mask, I mean, it's not like the New Bloods hockey mask, but I think it's a pretty good hockey mask. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about Jason. Well, the look of Jason in this movie. Well, I mean, we'll get more into it because, yeah. Yeah, I'll get more into his, like, face reveal later in this video. And, yeah, the face, reveal of Jason is not good. Yeah, it is not. But yeah, that's something I will show later. But overall, yeah, it's still good we get to see some gore. Okay, now, on to the next scene. LOL. Okay, yeah, I'll go on to the next scene. I am glad Kane Hodder had it to be Jason again. But, like, yeah, like I said, the New Bloods Jason look is way better than this one. 100%. But, I think Kane Hodder's performance as Jason is pretty good because I know Kane Hodder just tries his best with his acting as Jason. And I do give my respect to that. So, Kane Hodder does do a good job, in my opinion. This kill right here, I do not like. I do not like this kill. Sure, it has some gore, but overall, I do not like this kill. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad there's some gore, but, like, overall, yeah, it's not my favorite kill. Not my favorite. I don't like the way that Camp Crystal Lakes looks in the scene. I just don't I just don't like Camp Crystal Lake in the scene. It just doesn't look like it. Like these mountains in the background, this is obviously not Camp Crystal Lake. Like this is just yeah, I don't know like what's going on if they couldn't afford like enough money because the house exploded in part 7. I don't know, but yeah, this is definitely why this movie's like gonna be on a boat in New York City. And yeah, this movie's mostly gonna take place on a boat. Yeah. But I think being on a boat in this movie is kind of cool because Jason on a boat, like on a cruise ship boat, is kind of cool to me. I don't know why, it just is. But I just wish we could see more of Jason in New York City. But don't worry, that's gonna happen later, but not for the remaining of this movie, unfortunately. Now, of course, we gotta talk about the final girl in this movie. Now, Rennie is our final girl in this movie for Friday the 13th Part 8. Rennie is a okay final girl. Definitely not the best as Tina, although Tina was one of my favorite final girls. Rennie is, she's an okay final girl. Not my favorites. But Tina's definitely always going to be my favorite final girl. But yeah, Rennie is Rennie is Rennie. Rennie is an okay final girl, not the best, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Rennie for now. Now, Charles is not my favorite character as well because I don't know, he just reminds me of Dr. Cruz from part 7. I don't know, he just reminds me of that like very evil guy who's just really sus. I don't know, he's just not one of my favorite characters, Charles. He just is not. Now, JJ's death is an okay death. Now, it's not my favorite, but I think it's a kind of cool death because, like, the way that Jason uses her, like, guitar and, like, slams it is just, kind of cool. So, yeah. Now, Tamara and Eva are like one of my other favorite characters too. I mean, like, of course, they're not like the best characters, but they're pretty decent characters. Yeah, they're pretty decent, but I mean, they're okay characters. Like, they're like I would say like a 6 out of 10 characters, but they're not the best. They're not the worst characters. They're like they're okay characters, and yeah. So yeah, they're like kind of my favorite characters. Kind of. Just kind of. I absolutely hate that we have to see Kid Jason again. He just looks so terrible, Kid Jason. And he like has even more makeup on his face. It just looks terrible. Now, I know the kid is having a good time, which is great because, well, it's amazing to have a good time on a movie. I mean, he just looks like it. Now, I do give respect. The kid actor is amazing, but, like, it's just the makeup. It just looks, it just looks so terrible. I hate, like, the way it just, like, he just looks, Kid Jason. It just isn't trying to make sense whatsoever. I just don't like it whatsoever. This is by far, in my opinion, one of the worst kills in this movie. It's just so bad. It's not even that gory. You see a tiny bit of gore, just a little bit, but it's just so bad. It really is. Now, this deckhand guy kind of reminds me of Crazy Ralph because he says, like, you're all doomed and all that stuff. I don't know, this guy just definitely reminds me of Crazy Ralph, this deckhand guy. Now, I think I made a mistake. I think I said Crazy Carl. What I meant to say was Crazy Ralph. You know, that guy who says you're all doomed, Crazy Ralph. I may have made a mistake and said Crazy Carl. I don't know. I'm just more focused on making this review. Yeah, it's just kind of hard to keep track at this point. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Crazy Ralph, not Crazy Carl. I could be mistaken, but yeah. And yes, one of my other favorite characters is Julius. I don't know, he's like the tough guy in this movie, and he's like one of my favorite characters, Julius. Yeah, so Julius is one of my favorite characters. And also, it's kind of hard to keep track of like all of these characters because there are too many characters. Like, there are lots of characters. I mean, I know some of these characters, like Julius, for example, but overall, the rest of these background characters, it's hard to keep track of. It really is. I like the scene where Eva encounters Jason. It's kind of cool. And then after that, Eva just runs away and Jason just stands there. It's kind of hilarious to know that Jason just stands there. But yeah, of course, Eva's gonna be a goner for this one. Also, flashing lights warning for anyone who's sensitive to that, because there is a ton of flashing lights in this scene. Now, I do like this disco scene because it just looks kind of cool to me. It really does. But it just doesn't make sense that Jason's like, that he's just, how do I say it? It doesn't make sense that Jason's standing there because he has the opportunity to kill off Eva, but he just stands there for some reason. It just makes no sense because Jason just has the opportunity to kill off Eva. I don't like the Eva kill, but it is kind of creative because I think like just the way like Jason picks up Eva like up in the air is like kind of creative, which makes the kill better. I know it's not gory, but it is just kind of creative to me, even with the disco lights flashing. So yeah, I think it is kind of like a creative kill. And I do like when Jason just drops her on the ground. It's so funny. Yeah, it is. But it is also kind of sad because Eva was kind of my favorite character. Kind of. I say kind of because, well, she's not the best, but yeah, it is kind of sad to know that. I'm glad we're finally in New York City in this movie. It's about that time. I've been waiting for this like for quite some time because this whole movie like basically took place on a boat and that's kind of boring. Also, I love Jason's reaction to the hockey mask which is on the board. It's kind of funny. And when Jason just looks at the camera, that's funny too. The death of Julius is by far my favorite kill in this movie. It is just so creative, in my opinion. It really is my favorite kill in this movie. I absolutely hate the slow motion in this movie. It looks so dumb. I also want to know why Jason's face looks like this now. Before it looked like a human, now it looks like this. It just is making no sense whatsoever. Oh my god. I don't like this, but I do like this. I don't like this part at all. I just don't like this whatsoever. Kid Jason, I just don't like this. His design in this movie, just the way he looks. But overall, I like that this movie takes place in Manhattan. But just look at the makeup on this. It looks so terrible, the makeup. It really does. Ugh. Yeah. You better get some good makeup design because this looks terrible, the makeup. I hate that we have to have a flashback scene of Rennie's childhood and her fear of the water. It's just so unnecessary, this flashback. And this is why I do not like her Uncle Charles, because he pushes her in the water. It's so unnecessary. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with Charles anymore because he gets dumped in toxic waste by, well, what do you know, Jason Voorhees, because of course he's in this movie and he has to do the kills. But yeah, thankfully we don't have to see him again because he's just such a mean character. He really is. Now, something I do like about this movie is the subway scene, because I just feel like it's kind of iconic to see Jason in a subway, even when he's walking in this shot. It just looks so cool, not gonna lie. It really does. Now, I do also like the scene where Jason knocks the radio. It's kind of funny. It just is funny. And when, like, Jason decides to, like, take off his mask and scare these people, it's also kind of funny because their reactions are just very funny. Yeah, they just think they're tough and then they just run away. It's kind of hilarious. Yeah, it kind of is. I also like this scene where this waiter says, "Welcome to New York," because, well, lots of crazy things happen in New York City.
You don't understand. There is a maniac trying to kill us. Welcome to New York.
Yeah, it's just so random that she says welcome to New York because lots of crazy things, like I said, happen in New York. And I also like when Jason just busts down the door. It's very random and funny at the same time. This movie is very weird but very funny because Jason's just random, just walking around New York. It's just ridiculous. And the Jason look in this movie is very terrible. I just absolutely hate this Jason look. By far the worst Jason look I ever seen. It's just everything about it. Like, is that his eyeball? Like, what is going on? Like, this just doesn't make no sense. Like, this just Jason look just looks very bad. It just looks so terrible. Ugh. I also love that the dog is in this movie. The dog is really adorable. I don't know, I just love this dog. It's just so adorable, the dog. I love animals. And then Rennie and this random guy, which I forgot his name. Sorry about that, I just forgot his name. There are too many characters. So Rennie and this guy just live happily ever after. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Okay, we're done with this review for today. We are. Or should I say I am done with this review. And you know what's crazy is that this review is actually 17 minutes long. Wow, it's just very crazy. This is like the longest review I've done. I'm pretty sure there will be longer reviews in the future. I'm not sure. Well, it depends but on the movie runtime. But yeah, that is pretty much it of Jason Takes Manhattan. This movie was mid in my opinion. I just like that it takes place in Manhattan and seeing Jason in Manhattan. Alright, now, that's pretty much it for my review. I am going to, I don't know, go to Manhattan right now. I'm just joking. I really don't know.